Hello, my soul family. Welcome back to my channel. It's amazing to be with you today. I'm so excited to talk to you about this month's full moon in Scorpio. I don't know if you feel it. I definitely feel it. There's been heavy waters lately, heavy in the water element energy. There's been a lot of healing happening, a lot of returning back to self, back to our natural elements, our natural state of being. We're going to dive into the tarot in just a bit. First, I'm going to go over some of the channeled messages that I've received meditating on the energy of Mother Moon, Divine Mother. So this time of the full moon, this month in Scorpio, is all about healing and clearing self-expression. There's a lot of throat chakra opening and purging that's happening. There's been a lot of stagnant energy in that area, and it's come from a buildup, right, of the residue that starts to grow and set in, right, and get stuck to us. And that residue is from painful experiences, breakups, job losses, the feelings of betrayal, low self-esteem, body image issues, right? Like when we're not celebrating this beautiful avatar that we have on this planet, our bodies, our energetic fields are listening to us, right? Our voice is the resonating frequency that we're attracting, right? And so there's a large focus on clearing all of that, and it's happening collectively. It's happening for all of us. Now, on an individual level, it's going to look different, right? For one person, it could be about the type of work that they do, right? Like the type of self-expression that you do. For others, it could be diving deeper into your artistry. For others, it's simply about speaking your truth, right? I did a spring season reading earlier this month, and it was all about truth birthing new life, right? So anything that has been stagnant, a truth that you've held in out of fear of losing things, right? All of that is kind of surfacing. The need to have closure, right? To connect with a person and express and explain what happened and where you were at, and listen as well where they were at, right? That exchange of energy, whether you're meant to continue on this journey together or not, that closure is going to set you free, right? So there's speaking your truth. There's actually healing and purging of this energy that this beautiful full moon is going to be bringing us, whether we actively do something about it or not. But I highly encourage you to take advantage of this incredible energy. So the purpose of this clearing is to align you further into who you really are, so that you can be happy in the expression of yourself on this planet, meaning to be happy with what you do, right? To witness the universe amplifying, magnifying the energy, the abundance, the love, the response to the work that you're putting in, right? This is all what's going to happen when you align further to your soul path and your soul truth. You will feel happier in your everyday. You will wake up happy. You will have fresh ideas. You will want to get things done. It won't feel like a burden. You won't be dragging. But more importantly, you can use, on the spectrum of what I'm saying, you can use this example of what is aligning, what we can attract, and use the opposite. The opposite side of that spectrum is things that are showing you that they just no longer work, right? They're showing you in ways like closed doors, or you're just not feeling fulfilled by this thing anymore, right? Like any of those things that are no longer feeding the essence of who you truly are need to go, right? And so the moon is going to be amplifying that energy for everyone in the collective. And this started earlier this year. It also was amplified during the eclipse that happened earlier this month. And so this moon is kind of coming in as like this serene, illumination, this sort of like glossy finish to what we are releasing, and just to ensure, just to double, maybe triple check that we are actually moving in the direction that our hearts want us to move in. Okay. So there's also a bridging. Spirit said that there's a bridging of a gap. Okay. And this gap is this polarity that has existed for a very long time of what we do for a living versus what we do for fulfillment, right? So there's this gap that this bridging is happening. It's been happening. But with the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, I know this planetary placement very well, as that's what it is in my chart. So very heightened experience that I'm having at this time with this planetary alignment. But it's a very beautiful one because it's forcing the collective to forge a new path for themselves on a micro level, for each person on a micro level. But because it's happening collectively, we're going to start seeing it play out at a much more massive scale, right? And so this forging of the new path is about really moving with soul purpose. It's about moving with intention, right? And doing everything from a place of that creative spark, right? Follow the spark. That's really the theme of what we're talking about here. Follow what ignites your soul, right? What you feel passionate about. And on the other side of that, like we said earlier, anything that you don't feel that with, just let it go for now, because it may have served its purpose and it's now played out. It may come back later once you've started on a whole different track, and it may come back in a different way that you couldn't actually see. So it's okay to take a break from certain things, right? When you're not feeling it, okay? So move with that purpose, right? There's a very strong, and of course it's the season as well, but the moon is actually amplifying this. There's a very strong Empress energy, right? Empress in the tarot. I will dive into the tarot. There's just a couple more things I want to say. So the Empress energy is very heightened right now, okay? And it's teaching us about patience. There's a nurturing of the self that has to happen. There's a very Venusian quality as well that's here. And so a lot of us are starting to feel more into our sensuality. We're more aware of our bodies, of what we need to change, what we need to do to have a healthier system. This is our vehicle on the planet. We need to treat it as such, right? We need to maintain it. We need to love it. We need to also express it, right? So that's all a theme right now as well. And there's a very feminine energy at this time where emotions are purging, right? There's a lot of, or need to be, right? That's why the self-expression in the throat chakra has come up so strongly for this full moon. Is like, if you're not expressing that part of you, it needs to start flowing. So any blockages in that area are going to be released, and you're going to start feeling more feminine, more colorful, more expressive, more free flowing, right? So let me just check my notes here. Yes. Okay. So there's a big message before I started this reading about writing and journaling. I think what came was that this was going to be a very helpful way to start to get clear, to clarify what these truths are. Because the reason for the stagnation is that we might not actually be ready to spill it all out, right? So it's like feeling bottled up, like it's about to explode, but we're not actually clear on what it is we need to say. And we don't want to act from a place of impulsive anger, right? So journaling is going to be very therapeutic to get it all out, to get clear, to formulate our thoughts, right? And also to start drilling down to the intentions, like what do we want to do by summertime, right? Because this is a very auspicious time for creativity and co-creation, right? What kinds of people do we want to call in? What kind of projects do we want to get started, right? And then being patient and seeing it through, letting it unfold, right? So there's one more message I want to give, and I will dive into the tarot. The moon this month in Scorpio is asking us to remember that, and this is related to self-expression, okay? To remember that the moon teaches us to receive the divine love, right? To receive it fully, to embody it, and then to be able to illuminate it unapologetically. Okay. And that's what this self-expression is about. It's like, if you're open to receiving the gifts that the universe has for you, then you should have no shame in expressing what that is, right? And being aligned with your soul purpose in that expression. You should have no reservations, no fears, no sense of being judged or needing anyone's approval. The moon doesn't do that. She shines for us in the darkness, right? From her source, from where she's sourcing from, right? And so it's a beautiful reminder of the type of self-expression that's needed at this time, okay? Yeah, okay. So here's the Queen of Wands. Okay, very much that sort of Empress energy, being able to have multiple projects going at the same time, multiple streams of income, even from all of those activities, from all of our abilities, our art, our gifts, our creations, right? Being able to decide, I want to have it all. I want to have this thing going. I want to have this person in my life. I also want to have, these many kids, these many pets, these many properties, this, like, whatever the world is your oyster, right? Anything that you want from a place of true purpose, though, right? Not just because you want to show these things, right? From a depth, from a maturity and understanding, from being able to give back from your abundance, from your riches, right? The wealthier that you become, the more you expand, the more that you step into your mastery, the more you're able to give the collective and the community, right? I've been talking about the world being like a puzzle and every single person being a piece of that puzzle, right? And that's really what's missing, is like all of it coming together. But it can't do that if people are not living their truth, right? They're not living in alignment with what really makes their soul move, what sets them on fire, right? So this is the energy that the universe is going to be showing you. The more that you align with that thing, the response will be greater. It will be matched. There will be an even exchange of energy in everything, not just in what you do, but in your relationships, in your communications. And if that's not there, then you know it's not for you. And you can gracefully and maturely just let it go and move forward and understand that that's not for you at this time, right? Very beautiful. Now, we have this energy here. There's a mindset change that's happening for you. It's happening for all of us, but this mindset change is about just not being fulfilled by your everyday, whatever that is, whether it's a relationship, a job, a pattern, an environment, a home, like whatever it is, like there's something that you just feel completely uninspired by or unfulfilled with, right? And so there's been conflicts in this environment, and so you're really going to be making that change, and it's come rather quickly. And this is about being mobile in a way, right? Like this is the age of the digital nomad, right? So The lighter that you are in your life, like the less burdens and baggage that you carry, both physical and energetically, the freer you are to go and explore and create things, right? So there's a little bit of like needing to not only release and purge energy, but also belongings, right? Like strip things down to the basics, to what inspires me, like spring cleaning, right? Not surprised to see that there. Okay, yes. Beautiful. So, okay, so I'm understanding what this water purge is about. It's what we've been talking about. I hope you guys can hear me. My mic's pretty low today. So this water purge is about not seizing the opportunities that you have been given in the past to just run with the thing that fulfills you, right? Out of being afraid, right? This is a fear that you won't be able to support yourself in this, that you won't be able to do this on your own. And for some of you, feeling like you've been doing this on your own, feeling alone, right? Which is why the energy right now is so much about co-creation and partnering up and with like-minded individuals, right? This is a very, very strong energy. So there's this revisiting happening, right? We're going to be coming back once these truths are exposed, revealed, expressed. We're going to feel so much lighter once this baggage is released as well, both physical and energetic, that we've been talking about. We're going to reconnect to what this thing is that fulfills us, right? This could be a relationship for some of you. This could be a passion project, something that you got a taste of it, of like, how magical would it be if I could do this all the time and if I could be supported in this financially, right? Well, yes, this is your longing. This is what you want. And this is what's ahead of you, right? So that's very beautiful. Yeah. So here's what's blocking this. There's a stagnation that we've talked about, and that's what's being released. And it's very oppressive, and it feels like having to follow the way that things are supposed to be, right? The word supposed to is coming up for me here. It's like doing things because that's just the way that it's always been done, right? And so again, this is pointing to the beautiful energy that's here, which is the opposite of that. It's about forging a new path. That's what we were talking about earlier, right? And here is that new path, right? For some of you, there's been like almost like a rude, brutal awakening in this. And it could have happened through something really falling apart for you, right? Like when you're laid off, or you found out that, your partner's cheating on you, or someone passed away, right? All of this, this feels like a very kind of like a rude awakening, but understand that behind that is your angels, your guides, the universe, your higher path is calling, basically. And so anything that was standing in the way of that, whether you're aware of it or not, whether they're aware of it or not, is just not going to support where you're headed, right? And so this time of releasing that, has allowed you to heal a lot of the things that have been these karmic cycles that you've been in before. It's like there's been a recognition, an awareness of why you were in those situations, because this is coming up as a strength. This isn't in the future. It's not like something, it's not that a brutal awakening is coming. It's that this is where you've been. This is where you've been. This is where you're coming from, right? You've had an awakening. And so now that you've had this awakening, now that you've had this aha moment, now that you can see clearly, it's very difficult to live a life where you pretend to not see. Once you know, right? People talk about the veil being lifted. Once that's happened, you cannot continue to live in the matrix, right? And so you're being called by the universe, by your higher self, to make some changes here, right? And that's sort of the path that you're on, okay? So, yeah, and I think some of the things that you may be releasing are connections that have been a little bit destructive. You know, there's been gossip and power struggles and maybe like hierarchy in the workplace or competition or sabotage, right? Like that energy, which feels toxic, right? This is a group, this is a community, this is a team, maybe a family, but it feels more like a work environment or community based. It feels like something that you've been a part of that hasn't been healthy, right? And so the faster that you release this, the faster you can heal, and then you can call in connections that have also been through this. And so they don't want to see it repeated, right? So there's more consciousness, there's more clarity in the approach. There's this word that came earlier that I couldn't pinpoint where it was going to go in the reading, and now I'm being called to talk about it. There's like a delicacy in the process of birth and creation. Delicacy, not, I don't think I'm saying the right word. It's a delicate nature, right? And so you, like a baby, you take so much care to not disturb the environment of this baby, right? And we're so clear on that when it comes to an actual baby, but when it comes to ourselves or what it is that we're trying to do, it's not as clear, right? And we just let anyone in, we let anyone play whatever tunes, whatever vibrations, whatever frequency they want around us, and we don't think like, hey, that's actually impacting my energy, my energetic field, which is going to impact what I'm attracting, right? So there's a big call in the current energy of what's in our environment, like assessing that, right? Is this good for me? Is this creative process with these partnerships, with these collaborations, with these coworkers, with these just other creative minds, like, are we wanting the same thing actually? Or am I wanting to feel my soul purpose and fulfillment, and this other person just wants money, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting money, but if money is your sole purpose, then there's not going to be a lot of heart behind what you're doing, right? And so it's assessing, right? Having those conversations, speaking those truths. Like, are we really aligned to the same thing? Because if not, it's not a problem. We can go our separate ways and find those groups and those people and those environments that actually are, right? So again, a lot of truths. A lot of truths that are going to lead to a strengthening of the self, an enlightenment, a healing, a taking the reins of our own life and focusing on the things that fulfill us and not what's expected of us, right? That's the bridging of the gap. There it is. It's what we need versus what the world needs from you, okay? It has to start from you. You can only give from this place of fulfillment. If your cup is full, here it is. If your cup is full, look at this water overflowing, right? There's so much pouring out of you. There's so much that you can actually give. But when it's like this, you have nothing. You're depleted, and you can't give from that place just because people need something, because you're going to drive yourself crazy, and you're going to drive other people crazy because they're not realizing that they're putting those expectations on you, right? So you have to have the strength, which is what you're building, to understand those boundaries, right? And a lot of this comes from childhood. It comes from the families that we grew up in, the environments that we were in as children, how we learned to move in those environments, what boundaries were crossed that shouldn't have been. All of that is what's coming up to be healed, to be purged, because that's what's stopping us from this independence of aligning with soul path. Okay. Yeah. Approach. Just let go, release all of the things that don't feel good anymore. Trust it. Trust that while it may be uncomfortable in the beginning because it's disconnecting from something that you've known for so long, it will be worth it in the end, because there will be an entire new version of you, which will call in an entirely new life. Okay, so allow this death to happen. Okay, full moon in Scorpio. Here she is. This is going to be such a beautiful rebirth for all of us. The outcome, the Emperor. Yes, absolutely. This is understanding exactly who you are, unapologetically, sitting on your throne, knowing what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want, and aligning everything in your life to support that, and calling in the fleet, the army of people that are going to support you and this vision and this life, right? This community, the emperor to your empress, right? This is the masculine and feminine coming together, right? The time of the empress is now, and then the outcome, the emperor. What an incredible union. And I kept hearing union, and I was like, union of what? Like, now it makes perfect sense. Oh my God, bottom of the deck. Union of the aspects of you that have been scattered and now focused on the thing, on the life, on creating the life that really fills you. So beautiful. And letting go of, there's a lot of body image issue stuff going on right now. I think it's the season as well with the Empress and this Venusian energy. There's a huge focus on like self-limiting thoughts and behaviors, and and because the theme is self-expression, that makes perfect sense, right? It's like body positivity, right? This is what we want to create now. And the fact that we are being called to live and to express ourselves fully and do the things that we love to do and be the person we want to be, be the person that we already are on the inside, but showing that on the outside. Anything that's been stopping us from doing that, that's what's being released at this time. And here we are letting go of it completely and healing from it. And the Lovers. Yes, this is the Empress and the Emperor. This is the union, right, of you and your connection to the world, right? The reflection, right? We have the Six of Pentacles here, the reflection of that beautiful richness of you as a flower blooming. It's like seeing that reciprocated to you in your world through your relationships, through your close personal relationships, and calling in people who love you for that version of you that is the real you. But people can't do that if that's not at the forefront. If they have to rummage through all of these layers to get to that, chances are you're going to call in all different types of connections that aren't necessarily in line with that person that's deep in there, right? So bringing that part of you out, that's really the union, okay? You have the strength to do it. So take this time to reflect and journal and set intentions and do your releasing, okay, for the full moon. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. I am going to pull from my crystal stone deck so that if you need a little extra support during this full moon, if the energies are feeling very emotional, very intense, you can go get these crystals to help you. You can meditate with them. You can take fasts with them. Oh, okay. Bloodstone. Here, let me show you. Okay. Bloodstone is earthy green, not surprised, right? Spattered with seriously activated red jasper, earth energy, empress energy. In the Middle Ages, some believe that the red splotches on the stone surface were the blood of Christ, right? Rebirth, resurrection. If you're feeling constantly overworked and completely drained by the soul-sucking, machines of modern life, exactly, right? So moving away from the things that just completely drain you and moving closer to the things that just really fulfill you and filling your day with those things, right? So where to use this crystal, you can place it wherever you do the important work that you do, whether spiritual, physical, psychological, just have it with you. And then when to use it, when you're totally bled dry, right? It's time to get into your body, there it is, and start feeling your damn self, right? Truth, self-expression, be who you really are. Thank you, Spirit. It's so in alignment with what we're talking about. Sleep, get exercise, take nourishment, and call on Bloodstone to drag your ass out of the house to face the day, chin up, head high. Okay, I love it. It's so beautiful. Let me pull a Moonology card as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this reading so far. I definitely am. There's lots here for us to really grab onto and to just feel like how supported we are in this. And when things feel overwhelmingly emotional and we're depleted, it's really showing us something, right? Spirit, give me a Moonology card for the full moon in Scorpio. The answers you need are coming. Beautiful. Take time to breathe out. And I cannot make this stuff up. I am going to close the reading with this full moon in Scorpio card. Thank you, Mother Moon. Thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us that we are in alignment with our truth. It's time to release the negativity. So beautiful. I love you guys, and I will see you soon.